Hello and welcome back to the finishing line, and the full band is back together. Andrew, how are you?
Grand Dave, looking forward to something tomorrow.
Tom, how you doing?
In a fit of depression already, Dave. Yeah, to be honest.
And Sean, how you doing?
Great, Dave. It's great to be back on. Hopefully you have a
see
good time.
Even the dog is here.
How are you, Dave? No one's going to ask you. You can't ask yourself. How are you, Dave?
Here's the dog.
I'll come and get the dog.
I'm good, Andrew. I found out something today from basically we've been scammed by Tom. Is basically what's after happening. Because you know the way Tom said he wasn't allowed to go to Cheltenham, and he's doing stuff with his lovely wife Siobhan. Siobhan didn't know Cheltenham was on tomorrow on Friday and Saturday, Andrew. So it was a complete another scam again.
But again, Dave, are you shocked in any way whatsoever?
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Tom Scam Rain we're dealing with these days.
Yeah. So Tom done many burpees in the gym today. Many.
Not enough. He's still able to sit down.
To be fair, he done very well. I have to say, he done very well in the gym today.
I tried to blame Siobhan today as to why I wasn't going to Cheltenham this weekend, and she basically said it's nothing to do with me. You can go if you want. So I was like, not the response I wanted. So
she wasn't on the same page as Tom. She went, Dave, you want to Cheltenham? I said, I am. Tom was supposed to go. Tom went, yeah, you didn't let me go. And then she went, I didn't even know anything about it.
Yeah, backfired massively. So
it's not too late. It's not on for another 2 days. And I believe we have an extra bed as well.
Oh, it keeps crossing my mind.
Jesus, Tom, you have to go now. You have no choice.
Keeps crossing my mind.
I sorted the hotel for 4 people, and then Tom decided he wasn't going.
The only thing that put a firm decision on I'm not going is I am going to see my favourite horse and the best horse, potentially one of the best novice chasers in training on Saturday at Naas. I do love Cool Arcade. It isn't Cool Arcade. It is Free Stripe Life.
Fair enough.
That's not fair enough.
Yeah, look, he just builds you up to leave you down. He won't even go to Naas to see Three Stripe Life anyway. So
it's the rain, he'd be like, nah.
Yeah.
If Cool Arcade runs, I'll go.
And he gives out to us then about not going to Tramore when there's rain.
But on that note, and talking about racing, we have plenty to get to. We are going towards the Cheltenham November meeting, the Paddy Power Chase meeting, and myself and Andrew are heading over, and Puddy is heading over. We've many races to touch on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we'll have a little chat about Bob Ollinger coming back and facing Florian Porter in a decent race over the weekend. There's actually some decent racing in Ireland, as Tom touched on there as well, which he won't go see on Saturday.
Correct.
But that's life. So we'll kick it off. And first race, Friday. I'll have to get my little racing post app. That is honestly
a terrible app. Did you get
the new one yet, Andrew?
Oh, I did not.
Friday, the 1:45 at Cheltenham. It's over 2 miles. It's the Mucking.
You have tap shoes or something on that dog.
You set me up here. The Mucking Paddy Power Handicap Chase.
Me?
Yeah, that's the only reason this is in.
Never.
The Glancing Queen is favourite 3-1. I guarantee Andrew's going to pick her. Amarillo Sky 4-1. Grey Diamond 9-2. Melistic 8-1. Monsieur Lecoq 11-1. And 12-1 Bar. Sean, you're back, so you can take this first. We'll give you starters orders here.
Cheers, Dave. I think we kick off with a very competitive race. I think there's a lot in here that are all in around each other. But I come down on the Glancing Queen. I just think she does have to carry top weight. But if you watch her last season, she kept at 2 miles. I think she was very good. Every time we stepped her up, she stepped up and won once at Warwick. But when she was really tested at the Cheltenham Festival last year, she sort of struggled to get home after the second last, and she was well in there going down to the last. she's been 3 from 4, first time out the last 4 seasons, and the only defeat came in the champion bumper behind Fernie Hollow. So that's not too bad going. And as I said, she jumps great and she goes on all grounds. So I think at 3-1, she's one of my stronger fancies this weekend.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Tom.
Oh, what? Sorry, what are we talking about? I agree with Sean. Look, the Glancer Queen, I think she has a great chance in this. As Sean said there, her form last season, not even last season, her best form is over 2 miles. Yes, she's won, well, 2 miles won, whatever you want to call it. Her best form has been over that. Yes, she's won twice over 2-4, 2-3, whatever. But her best form has come at this distance. She likes the track. She bolted up here, I think it was in April.
It was in April, yes.
In April against Cut the Mustard.
Poor old Alice was in behind that day, Tom.
Alice
How do I not notice this?
Yeah.
That's great form. Don't need to talk about the rest of it. The Glancer Queen wins. Yeah, but look, she's 7 wins and 5 of them have been over 2 miles. I don't think it's that much of a competitive race, to be honest with you. Amarillo Sky, he wouldn't fill you with much confidence. Grey Diamond, he's in and out more times than a Washington. Majestic will be the one that'll chase him home. The rest of them are much as Captain Tomcat has that turnaround big time from his last run. But I think she's the class angle in the race. Highest rated, 12 stone wouldn't really worry me. She's a big enough mare, and I think she'll take some catching.
Tom?
I'd make it 3 out of 3 for the Glancing Queen. She loves the track, doesn't she? And she proved she can kind of do it on any ground as well. I'd say she wants kind of good to soft would be her job. That race in April, I obviously know very well. Alice made a run, and the Glancing Queen sat in, and it set us up nicely for her. And she won well that day, in fairness to her. And I think Cut the Mustard's a decent enough mare, in fairness, and Alice is a good mare. She'll go up and trip next time, which we're looking forward to. I think that's relatively good form. And then she's also got form in behind La Presse. I thought she was an absolute certainty at the festival in the plate. Just the way that form worked out, La Presse, I just thought there's no way she got beaten. And she was a bit disappointing that day, but I think the very soft ground kind of hindered her chances a little bit. But as Andrew said, this isn't the most competitive race in the world, so I think she'll get away with giving a bit of weight away here. The one to chase her home for me, and possibly the danger, would be Grey Diamond. Sam Thomas is in unbelievable form. Had got 2 good runs together last year. Second in the list to chase at Ascot, and then 4th in a good handicap at Newbury. I think he was going to win at Wincanton, and he slivered across the ground at the last and basically fell. So, I think you can write off that last run. You just obviously put a line through that. And he's got some good form. So, I think he'll be the one to chase her home.
Yeah, 4 for 4 for the Glancing Queen. The 3 lads have touched on it, but she's been beaten by La Presse and lost at the festival, in which was probably a pretty decent handicap. Cool Cody, Imperial Alcazar, Spirit of the Games, all horses that continuously run well at Cheltenham and throughout the year last year. So I think she is a good bet for
Andrew. You know what this means? The 3 famous letters.
Get stuck in.
GSI.
Bang, bang.
Get stuck in.
Okay, the next one, the 220 at Cheltenham, over 2 mile, 4 furlongs. The SSS, Minnow Johnson? No, the SSS.
Sorry, what?
Super Allies Novices Limited Handicap Chase. Tom reckons I have one that I was going to back in this, but I don't. And the favourite is Hereditary Rule, 3-1. Pulligan Green, 7-2. Unanswered Prayers, 9-2. Railway Hurricane, 11-2. Super 6, 7-1, and 10-1 Bar. Andrew, you can take this.
I think it's only fair we start with Tom, because he has the favourite in it.
I'm not picking up the favourite, but I do have a very, very strong fancy.
Let's get into it.
Boy, I have. Oh, yes. Sorry, I get the joke now. Yeah. So
It's not a joke. You have to explain the goddamn thing. Right, go
on. We've got to get him on, lads, so they can put the two of us together. That'll be your dream come true, Andrew. I'm sure.
Look at the smile on Dave's face.
Hereditary rule. Look, I'll take him on. He's been winning and running at lesser tracks. I think he turns up here against some proper horses. I actually don't think he'll go off favourite. I think the one that will go off favourite is the horse I'm going to tip, Unanswered Prayers. Lads, you're going to Cheltenham this weekend. I'm sure it's costing you a few bob to get there. If you want to make the money for the trip back, just put whatever you need to on Unanswered Prayers, and then this bookmaker will give you the money, and then it'll pay for your flight, hotel, accommodation, all that kind of stuff. So
she may as well go to Cheltenham then if you're getting a free.
Just going to see it. That's your trip paid for. That'll be your wages paid for.
And Dave said he'll share a bed with you. So Tom, what more do you need?
I'll do you a deal, right? If and I know this is going to go wrong now, isn't it? I just wait for the phone call off Henry tomorrow saying he's scoped wrong with them. If Cool Arcade doesn't run, I'll come over.
I'm texting Jay right now.
Jay's going to go and take one of his shoes off or something.
Stone bruise in the morning.
Okay, that's the deal. And I'll stick to that. And Unanswered Prayers will be paying for the trip. This horse has got some fantastic form at this last start. That silver trophy. And this is why I thought you'd be backing him, Dave, because I remember you talking about Napper's Hill and saying you were going to follow him wherever he went next. And I hope you did, because he went and won. He took his form to another level. Lord Baddesley came out and won. Broomfield Berg got backed off the absolute boards for the handicap at Ascot. Did They Leave You Out? 2 ran well in a handicap at Newbury, which is all you can kind of expect for him. Masters Legacy, who was behind him, came out and won. And Prashima came out and won. I think the form of that for a handicap is absolutely red hot. He has to run off a pound higher because he's out of the weights by a pound here. I tried to work that out earlier. I'm not 100% sure how, because he can carry 10 stone 13. So I'm not sure how he's out of the weights. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so he can basically run off his hurdle mark, which is 124. Has some very good form last season as well. Was on the improve and looks like he's still on the improve based on that. Jumps a hurdle very, very well. Tom Cannon is back on. This is a race where I don't think it's that competitive at all. And I think he is the one that stands out like a sore form. And Chris Gordon is in absolutely unbelievable form. 5 out of his last 18 have won, and a whole heap of them have been placed. Since I texted you guys earlier, it's 6 into 9-2. I actually think this could go off about 3-1. So, in the words of the legend Willie Mullins, I think GSI is the call of the day, isn't it?
You're going to get GSI into a horse making his chase debut. I like it.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Yeah. After that mark in what I don't think is that competitive of a race, I think he is one that stands out, jumps a hurdle very well, has got around in 3-pointer points, trainers in flying form. Yeah, I'm really keen, really keen.
Yeah, when Tom texted me earlier about this, I hadn't got a chance to look through the races, and after I did and went through the form and talked to Tom about it, I had said to Tom a couple of weeks ago that I would follow horses from that particular race, the race that Napper's Hill won at Chepstow. I missed out on Masters Legacy. I missed it the other day. He won 3 Mile Chase at Exeter. I think the only horse that has run and not won since that race is Did They Leave You Out 2, who Andrew and Tom have both said just is kind of tripless and will run well but not win. Useless. So I agree with Tom, and I will also be getting stuck in. Andrew, who are you going for?
I'm not going for Unanswered Prayers. I'm just as well free. I am going to side with Fergal O'Brien's Pull Again Green.
Can't jump. He was terrible. He was terrible. He can't jump.
All right. Chill. Relax, man. It's not your horse.
Don't get stuck in.
I won't get stuck in. This is one of the races I was like, I might just throw a 10 on and see what happens. The reason I'm putting him up is, they obviously thought he must have scored well at home because they sent him off due to unfairs when he was in behind Found On and Champagne Gold at the last Cheltenham.
You realise Found On was bet by about 20 million lengths today.
I do.
Over the wrong trip, Dave. Over the wrong trip today.
Over the wrong ground.
It was still absolutely terrible.
It ran on good ground at Cheltenham and then it ran on heavy ground today, so that's the big difference.
She won a novice hurdle on heavy ground.
Will you just shut the hell up, like? Jesus Christ. You swear I was going to lump on this thing. I'm not getting GSI for this. I couldn't even change my mind come today. Depends how many Guinness in I am.
That's my day, isn't it?
As of right now, Fergal O'Brien loves this meeting. Pulligan Green, his form over hurdles isn't too shabby. He beat a horse called Wonderwall, who was a decent bumper horse, and Shearer, who won on the same card where he was third last month. So that form's working out all right. He enjoys the track. He does have a win at Cheltenham, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He has a win at Cheltenham. Yeah, he won in April, beating Ryomi Uni, or whatever, the bloody, what's his name? Gary Moore's horse. He has to jump a hell of a lot better. But I'd forgive him one run over fences. He might brush up and he might learn a bit from it. 72, I think, is a fair enough price. I backed on Answer Prayers 3 times last season, and it was the 3 times he got bet. So no thanks. But so the favourite. I think if it gets really into the battle, I don't think he'll want us much. I backed him when he was second before his 2 wins, and that's what kind of happened. And he got outstayed by a Twist and Davis horse, I think it was. But Pulligan Green, if it jumps better, 72, look, it's a fair enough price in a race that more or less you can make a case for all of them, Linford, really. Lanford, should I say.
Tom was in the gym earlier, and to
shock to everyone I know.
Put the point across that he is, in fact, getting stuck in. The first thing he did was give me 25 of the Queen's Sterling. Sterling.
The King
Sterling. On unanswered prayers.
Do you know what you have to do now? You have to get in the car now after this, to drive to Wexford, you give it back to him, and no, he has to come to the airport and you give it to him on the plane tomorrow. And he can put
Sean, are you getting stuck in?
No, I'm a lukewarm on this race now. When we first went through it, they had
lukewarm.
Bamberg in.
Lukewarm.
What's the word, Tom?
He's getting what, Tom?
Windy. Yeah. Getting windy.
Definitely.
You heard the story, Sean, that I said to Dave halfway, I had too much money on Facile Vega and the bumper at the Dublin Race Festival. Halfway down the back. I don't
think you could have had enough on him, Tom. I don't think you could have enough on that fella at the Dublin Racing Festival.
He was actually the only fella in the whole of Leopardstown that was windy that was on Facile Vega. Didn't travel like a travelly thing. Hacking around the place and thought, oh Jesus, lads, I'm getting very windy here. Everything else is getting sick and behind him.
Gamble responsibly. That's how you know you got too much money on, when you're getting worried that that's going to get bet. So yeah. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, but back when I was going through this, they had Bambridge in at even money favourite, and I was looking to try and take him on at all costs, but he was pulled this morning, and I think the John McConnell horse was just naturally fell into favourite. I don't think he'll go off favourite on the day. I came down on Pulligan Green, same as Andrew.
Oh man,
made him a couple of the same reasons. That Dave said he is a terrible jumper. Now he did jump the first 2 like houses, but after that he did. I didn't think he'd done much wrong after that. He started to come on a lot, and I think when he came around the bend, my little query was he started hanging in. I was hoping he was just getting tired, and he gave him an easy ride home after the second last. So I think he should come on for the run, and hopefully he's there on the finish.
Dave's a very unforgiving man.
Yeah, very.
No, I forgive. It's just he didn't jump well, and I think being beaten by
I know what was happening.
And Champagne Gold is not good form. And
the worst video I've ever seen. By
you can say it. Come on, it's a
no.
Why?
The 255 at Cheltenham.
Bring back Gavin. That's what I'm saying. I'm starting a campaign to bring back Gavin.
It's a veterans chase that they put on. It's a veterans chase that they put on instead of the
Why?
Really
Cross country.
This is a fantastic result now. This is.
Can I just say, lads?
This is a day you can get GSI'd into something here now.
They've absolutely. Go on. Sorry, Dave. Go on.
There wasn't enough rain, but it's been raining for 2 weeks straight. So this I don't understand. And a couple of courses in England have had to, like Sandown had to cancel in the middle of the race the other day. But here, look, it is what it is, and we have a veterans chase. Tom's not happy about it.
I don't know. They absolutely ruined me plans because I planned on Delta Woke coming here unfit, getting beaten, and then World comes to an end. Delta Woke doesn't win the cross country, and we get a prize. But they've just threw my plan up and smoking. Now
So
they're
well,
running the hurdle.
They're going to run him in that hurdle race. Tiger O used to run it now. They'll do the same thing.
Hopefully.
I tell you, we're going to get stuck in a few times on Friday. Because if Ballyandy can't beat this race,
Fantastic this is.
I will probably have a bad Friday.
You're going to have a bad Friday, Dave.
It's Ballyandy for me. Tom, you're next.
He doesn't deserve to look at this race. He hates him.
Ballyandy, right, has run 3 times over fences at Cheltenham. What's his record?
I don't care.
It's going to be a week on Friday. That's what it's going to be.
Pulled up, 4th out of 5.
Right.
Ballyandy ain't winning, lads. So you can put a line through him straight away.
I can't wait to come.
After that, I would take a look at my old friend Corto Rico, who does have a good record at Cheltenham. I'd give him a bit of a chance. And the other one, Broken Quest, Dave Dennis's horses are in good form and was on the improve last year, which is not what can be said about a lot of these who have just been given a chance by the handicapper, basically. So for the glorified Hunter's Chase, I won't be having a bet. This should be running.
Tom's argument. The pulled up and fourth was in 2018.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was behind somewhat decent horses and many moons, COVID, and God knows what has passed along since then. Ballyandy's able to jump a little bit better than he was back in 2018. Andrew, you're next.
Hang on now. It was behind Baron Alco, Mr. Whitaker, and Yanworth over fences off of marks of 137, 145, and 147. And now he's running 142. No chance.
Yeah. But he's running against Puerto Rico, Nation Robin, Broken Quest, another ambition. There's no superstars in this whatsoever. This will be run at a hat canter. Sam will be doing his little bouncy thing the whole way around, nice and relaxed. And he will bolt up.
So basically what you're saying is
if we go through most of these horses are on a major regress. Nation Robin had decent enough form last year. Ballyandy was turned inside out when he stepped up and tripped over hurdles last year. Come back this season, had a lovely jump around Perth, a nice blown away the cobwebs. Pipe, that's the word I was looking for. I couldn't think of it. Pipe opener around Perth back in September. He was meant to run on Sunday. The heavens opened. The rain gods were in our favour. He got taken out with Sandown and he's running here. 3-1 GSI. Get stuck in.
I will agree with Andrew in that sense that like Ballyandy's around a good few years. Obviously, it's a veterans chase.
He's not overly exposed over races. He's
had good runs, bad runs, so on and so forth. When they eventually stepped him up and trip, which me and Andrew both said last year on the podcast, to 3 miles, because he's a slow horse. His form has turned inside out since he's been stepped up 3 miles over hurdles, and he is technically unexposed over fences.
Over 2 mile 4 then, isn't it?
He'll be fine. It's a gallop. He'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Sean, sure, there's loads of rain.
Loads of rain.
Oh no, lads.
I turn on the taps when I go over there tomorrow just for the crack.
Have you got return train tickets booked to the airport? I'm just going to make sure. You haven't got enough money to get back to the airport.
Like that.
Sean, who are you going for?
Dave, I actually fall down on Ballyandy myself. That makes 3 of us.
Fantastic.
Lads, I'd be worried if he can't win this. He needs to go if he can't win this. He really does, because This is bad. I'm in Tom's camp on these races. I'm not off with him, but my God, I'd expected him. He's had a pipe opener. The rest haven't had a run this season, and I'd sincerely hope he wins this race.
Okay, well, so
Fantastic.
the last one on Friday is the 3:30 at Cheltenham, the Ballymore Novices Hurdle, a Grade 2. It is over 2 mile 5 furlongs. It's a trial for the Ballymore at the festival. The favourite at the moment is Hubrisco for Willie Mullins, 11-4. Hermes Allen is 72 for Paul Nichols. I think that horse cost an arm and a leg and everything else in between. We've all been caught 7-2. Music Drive, who looks so slow, it's not even funny, 5-1. Collector's Item 10-1. Quid Pro Quo 10-1. And Getaway Drumlee 40-1. Sean, we're back to you. We're going first again.
We've actually the favourite in this race being backed off the boards now. I'd have a little worry about the distance. I thought I wouldn't be off of him now. The 2 times he's run over the distance, he hasn't won. And the last day at Tipperary, he was behind Champ Coyley and Brazil, and he was right up behind, coming down to the second last, and he fell away. So I'd be a little bit worried about him. Hermes Allen, I wonder is a price tag that's raving about him, because surely a £350,000 purchase, if they thought he was good, definitely wouldn't be running around Stratford first time. So I've actually fell down on the Nigel Twiston-Davis horse here. We've all been caught. I was very impressed with him first time out in the bumper. This horse definitely was not bought to be winning bumpers, and he was a big money boy for Twiston-Davis. He's a big chestnut, Andrew. You should love him. He's a big boy.
Big, beautiful chestnut looking bastard.
Exactly, that's the one. And he came out in the bumper the first day, and he was green, learning a lot. And I like the way he put his head down and just got up there on the finish in front of another horse who's running the race, Collector's Item. I think the step up and trip on a hurdle is going to help this lad, and I think he won that. I will be looking out for this season following.
Andrew.
So,
I went in, this is the race I probably spent the longest on. I couldn't really make much of it, but after a good bit of diving into it, I decided to go with Music Drive. As you said, it looks like a horse that wants to trip. Stepping up in distance today from his last run at Cheltenham, where he finished 2.5 lengths behind Mustafa into third. But the thing that was, he travelled well enough now the whole way around, but he made an absolute balls at the last. But he managed to keep going quite strongly towards the line. So I think if they use him a bit more, as in try and make the running with him, I think he could outstay a lot of these. I have the same thoughts with Hubrisco as Sean does. I think he just get outstayed a bit. He looked like he got left for dead in his last race. Hermes Allen, look, he won a Nega Spoon race around was it Stratford? Yeah, around Stratford. Look, he could be unbelievable. But God only knows. The danger, I think, is we've all been caught, the one that Sean's had been put up. But I think if they use Music Drive a bit more and use the stamina, look, he has that track experience now off Cheltenham. I think that'll play to his strengths a lot, and I think he'd be rightly there battling at the finish. At 4-1, he'd be one of my strong bets now for Friday.
Tom.
Look, a bit like Andrew said, I actually spent some time going over this race as well. But by the time I glanced over the first 5 in the betting, I could not pick it. Jesus Christ.
What was that?
There's a ghost in Sean's house.
Yeah.
Not Dave's dog, anyway. Look, you could give any of the first 5 in the betting a chance here for me, and I'm not going to have a bet in it. So I don't really, there's no point in me going through all 5 of them. So,
Yeah, I thought it was very hard as well. I'd like to see Hubrisco run well, and the horse that Sean mentioned, I seen the race he won the bumper last year, looked like a horse that would have a future. So if he ran well, it wouldn't surprise me, but very, very tough to call. I have to say I'd be disappointed if Music Drive won, because he was so bad the last day. That was such a bad race that he was in. I think like he couldn't go past the wounded knee of Anne Duffield. So I just
I think him one more chance up in Triple Eight, make a lot more use of him. I think he could show a better performance. But it's a wide open race. That's look, Seven Thompson. And the age is looking, and you're hemming and hawing. But
and even like that Hermes Allen, like a 350, he was one of the top 10 expensive point-to-point spot this season. I know he ran around Stratford, but like I was hoping if he was a big one, I'm sure Nichols would have had him at Chepstow, where he had a couple the other day, or maybe in Newbury or something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if his price drifted out on the day. But we'll kick on to Saturday, and it's the 145 at Cheltenham, the Grade 2 Arkle Trial over 2 miles. Tom's favourite horse, Monmoral, is favourite 6-4.
Your favourite
Tommy's Oscar, 5-2. Good old Tommy's Oscar. Banbridge, 7-2. Kubo's favourite horse, Pentland Hills, is 9-2. Glory and Fortune is 8-1. Soul Pretender, 12-1. Ganapatai, 33-1, who is no longer with Willie Mullins because he's terrible. And Hussein, 66-1.
You just need to clarify that, Dave. Who's terrible, Willie Mullins or Ganapatha?
Ganapatha. I don't need to call. I didn't need to say that. I think people will understand what I meant. Tom, is Monmoral going to win? I think you wanted to put him up for the Arkle already, so.
I put him up as one of my horses to follow for the season, just as one that, people might have, maybe he's had one bad run and people have forgotten about him and given up on him. But
he had 3 bad runs.
Then again,
it was a little dig at something that he won't say.
People might have changed their mind and they might decide that actually no, they're going to back him now this weekend. So
to be fair, he had 3 bad runs.
He did have 3 bad runs.
Excuses.
He had 2 bad runs in fairness. He came
two
back.
Bad runs.
No, he had 2 bad runs. He was second in Grade 1 hurdle.
He's 14 lengths behind Epitana.
Yeah, but in fairness, he's had excuses. He finished lame in the fight in 5th, and that's where his season last season just went wrong altogether. It's basically a write-off from there on. He was obviously up against a battle with him after that. He goes to Fontwell and he just doesn't run well. And then he manages to get him back for Aintree and he's second behind Epitome, which, considering the season he had, wasn't the worst run in the world. I've always thought this horse's career was going to take off when he went chasing. He looks like a chaser. He travels very well in his races. Look, the juvenile form isn't the worst, and he was absolutely bolting up. And Nichols was looking after him for his chasing career. It's very interesting that he comes here, considering his horse he has looked after. He pitches him straight in a Grade 2 for his chasing debut around Cheltenham. I think that tells you exactly how much Nichols thinks of Monmoral. Nichols is in absolutely amazing form. I fancy he's a much better horse than Banbridge. Pentland Hills should probably be living in Kubo's back garden at this stage, shouldn't he?
Don't forget, he's 1 from 1, Tom. He's 1 from 1 over fences.
Great performance.
And Tommy's Oscar, I know he's given Geronimo weight, but he has beaten Geronimo ahead at Carlisle. So look, I'll take him. I'll take them on, and I think Monmoral. I actually think he could put in a really, really good performance here, and I think this will be the day that people stand up and take note of Monmoral.
Andrew, you're not choosing Monmoral anyway. I can't see it.
God, no, I just don't see it at all.
Tommy's Oscar.
I really don't know how he's got a rating of 149. That's the God's honest truth. The horses he's actually beaten, like he's beaten Nasalam and he's beaten Adagio when he's 4-year-old. He's done absolutely nothing since. Not a thing. Like he was sent off 9-4 and he was battered by Botax Haas.
Good horse. I like Botax Haas.
Yeah, he's not a world beater by any stretch of imagination. And then he was left in second behind Epithant. Look, Chason's going to need to turn him inside out and on chase debut around Cheltenham against 2 quite decent horses. I can't have it. I think Banbridge is his chasing debut around Gorham Park was slapped of a horse that is going to go a long way to chase over fences. He travelled supremely well, jumped really well. He just had an aura of really good horses after coming on again as for the break. Look, he was faced a challenge 3 out, and he disposed of that very, very quickly. And Banbridge, he's going to be one. He's going to be the GSI horse for Saturday. I think 5-2 is a fair price. I was delighted when he was taken out of the race on Friday and going in here. I think he's, to me, it's between Banbridge and Tommy's Oscar. I'm not sold on Morale yet. If he goes and hacks up, fair play to him. Tom was right. He's a good chase, but as of now, I cannot have him whatsoever. But Banbridge to come on, if he comes on again from that run, he's going to take some stopping. Tommy's Oscar's performance last time was really good. I think he was obviously giving away £12 or something. It was it £12 or more?
It was around that. Yeah, it was plenty of weight anyway.
Yeah. Petal Hills comes in here. This is Chase debut. Let's be honest about it. But he has to prove he still has ability. He won on the flat, so he's race fit. So I think Tommy's Oscar and Banbridge will be fighting it out coming up the hill on Saturday.
Sean.
Dave, I'm back in Tom's camp here. I've been waiting for Morale to go chasing for 2 seasons now. He's built for chasing. This is his game.
Yeah, but that doesn't always. I don't get this really. That doesn't always mean they're going to be good at chasing.
Yeah, but
you're living on the anticipation. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work like that. And his hurdle form needs.
If you go back to even his juvenile form, like Adagio, he was top end handicap. He finished second in the Greatwood last season, and he was beating him at ease.
Gets beat off caution then. And if you put Morale was getting beat off caution, I guarantee you now you won't be saying Morale is going to win this if he was getting beat off caution.
Definitely, because you look at I just think even if you look, he has a very valid excuse last year. He struck into it in the fighting fifth. The race where he came back, he went off like a head balloon. First run back, blew out, got toward, and then I think the one at Aintree was just stretching too far. I think the 2 miles over fences and Nichols. If Nichols is throwing him into Cheltenham, you know what Nichols is like. If he's throwing him in here, I think they expect big from him. I really do. All his horses have come out fit this season. They've all been thriving. Nichols. He's currently got a strike rate of 43 at the moment, 21 from his last 49 wins. I think Morale is his one. I think arguably he could be one of the best British novice chasers this season behind Jambon.
I think he'll end up as one of the best British novice chasers.
Yeah.
And who Paddy Power have paid out to win the Archelon?
Crazy.
Oh, who's they paid out?
They paid out on Jambon to win the Archelon.
Nice little publicity stunt for them.
It is.
I'm in the same camp as Andrew here. I'm not for Morale at all. Until I see him do it in proper company, it's all a hype horse for me. And I like Tommy's Oscar, but I just think Banbridge will jump a little bit better. I think Tommy's Oscar is probably the faster horse, but Banbridge's jump on the last day was very, very good. And I think he could turn into a very decent novice chaser this season. So Banbridge for me as well. Okay, we go to the 220. If I can get my phone to work.
Paddy Power.
Paddy Power.
I know it's the Paddy Power. Just
hurry the hell up there, will you?
2 mile 4 furlongs, Paddy Power Gold Cup handicap chase. All is a decent enough race. Favorite, and he has been kind of all week and for a while. French Dynamite 5-1, Gala 6-1, Stolen Silver 7-1, Il Redoto no 10-1, Midnight River 12-1. Happy Go Lucky 14-1, Galahad Quest 14-1, Editor The Cheat 16-1, and then there's numerous other horses 16-1, 20-1, and there's many enters. Even Cool Cody might rock up here and run well again.
Oh, Dave, you just done me show.
Sean, you take it away, so off you go.
Yeah, I've got two. I've got two. In a handicap like this, I think I'm allowed 2. Was it 8 Tom had last season? So I think I might just get away with 2.
Yeah.
3 for today. So go on.
First when I kick off with Gala, I said today, the last day after he ran at Aintree, he definitely has a win off this mark. He was 8-1 when we were looking last night. I just think he took a big blow at the 3 or 4 out at Aintree, and he came back all the way to the line after 2 years out the track. I thought that was very impressive to show the guts to come back in that. And the second one out of school, I just think just at a price, I think at 20-1 Kill Cody. I definitely don't think he should be that big. He loves it around Cheltenham, and he had a perfect pipe open on the hurdle. They let him get down to the last, and he completely just blew his lungs. I'd say he'd be cherry ripe for this. And just at 20-1, I thought it was rather big. So the two for me are Gala and Cody Road. Or Kill Cody, sorry.
Cody Rhodes.
Tom, you go next with your 3.
On Cool Cody, I think he is going to be. I think he's going to be disappointing this season, and then I'm going to back him. I'm going to back him for the plate at the festival because he is up to a mark of 151. He won last year at the festival for 145. If he starts running a couple of bad races, the British handicap is going to drop him like nobody's business. I think he'll easily end up off 145 again back at the festival if he has another 2 runs after this. So I think watch Cool Cody for the festival. Garlaw is my first one. This is a horse we spoke about, Dave, as well. Really eye-catching run in the Old Rowan at Aintree behind Hitman and Riders on the Storm. Blew up basically and ran on again. He's off the same mark of 142. He can definitely be competitive off that as long as he doesn't bounce the moon and back off his first run, as he was off for 603 days. So he's the first one. He's top of the market. He's fairly short. The other one, I'm trying to find it because I want to get to one of them last, is the other horse we were on about is Editor Digit. A really eye-catching run there in the handicap chase at Cheltenham. This horse likes to make the running. He was dropped in and he drifted in the market like he'd lost a leg. I think 2 miles would suit him better. If this lad ran in the handicap on the Friday, he would have been my bet of the weekend. I don't know if they're going to go here, but if they do, look, he's still going to have a chance, definitely.
I took the view, Tom, maybe were they teaching him a thing or two settling the last day? Because
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I just wonder quick with the likes of Cool Cody now going out in front. I wonder the last day did they leave him in behind a couple just to get him to settle down a bit and hopefully intend to stretch the mountain trip.
I think it's because in hindsight, if you do look at it, if we go back to his runs over this kind of distance, 2-3, 2-4. His form was pulled up second, pulled up, and they were going from the front. Unless they were trying to teach, not even teach him, but take a chance dropping him in, see how he gets on, and if he finishes at the end of it. If there is that lot of pace, I think we might see him being dropped in and hunting away.
I read it more as it was a pipe opener, to be honest.
Oh, did I? I literally read that as well until today, until I sat down and went through it all.
Yeah. No, I think they'll take a chance on the trip, but he's a front runner for my business. He'll either stay or he won't at that stage, and you take your chance. But yeah, no, I think they'll ride him handy again. I think he was having a pipe opener or whatever you want to call it the last day, and I've got to put this horse up. You know which one it is. Simply the Bets.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Me pink.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Lord.
Look,
favorite jockey on board.
The Maxwell is up. The Maxwell house is up. He bought this horse over the summer. I heard an interview today on Nick Luck's podcast where he was saying he bought a job lot of them. He had to buy like 3 of them. I forget the other horse. What's the good horse?
There is none.
There is. I can't remember.
I don't know. Longer good one or the other.
I can't remember his name now. Oh. No, he is quite a good horse. That's going to annoy the hell out of me. That Andrew Brooks had, and I can't see it down there either. No, if anyone can find that. St. Calvados. That's the other horse. So he's got St. Calvados now as well. So the plan was simply the Bets is they're going to try and win this. and happy days if they do. If they don't, then he's going to have a Hunter Chase campaign.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, another one to throw in against your Vosale in the Fox Hunters. This lad ran well in this last year off 154. He's down to 152. I think probably took Nichols a season to get used to him. And after a couple of okay runs, he was second on New Year's Day in the 2x4 handicap. He was second and ran a really good race. And I just think after a season getting to know him, he's only 9. I think he'll run well. He might not win, but I could see him in the first 4 or 5.
It's been a long day. Fuck.
Dave, as I like to say, I think if you put €10 on him at 20 to 1, what happens?
You're losing €10.
Lose €10. Fuck me, pink Tom. Andrew, off you go.
God above on my
You put Paddy Andy up at 3 to 1 with Cheltenham form at PP 4 out of 5.
And the champion Bubba went out. Don't forget that one.
Exactly. Yeah. We're not putting up a horse that's running a Paddy Power handicap that has David Maxwell on his back.
Good. Nothing wrong with Maxwell House, lads.
Nothing right with him either. He's a great lad. Don't get me wrong. Unbelievable. I'd love to go for a fight with him. Terrible jockey though, and he probably admitted himself.
He's not terrible. He's not.
He is.
He's not.
Will you stop the lights? He is.
Fucking, I would fucking ride better than him.
All the power to him. Fair play to him. He has the money. You want to ride your horses, you ride your horses. Don't let anyone tell you different, but you're not that good.
Andrew, bring it back, please.
Yeah, I was mad keen on Editor the Gee. Kind of still am, but I was not as much as I was if this was over 2 miles. Don't even know he's going to run here. So he's entered up in the race on Sunday as well, where he will have.
Yeah, he's entered in the Shire Chase on Sunday.
Yeah, I saw that. I was actually a bit worried that they'd bob around there for third and pick up some prize money.
Because I think if they were nailed on to run here, I think they'd have someone jocked up on them already. But look, I'm not going to lie. If he runs here, I'll be backing him. I'll have a bit of each way money on him. Whether they're going to go from the front or do what they done the last time, who knows? But he's an unbelievable record around Cheltenham. He's a good jumper. You'll get the run for your money no matter what. I'd be backing him if he turns up. But the main one, French Dynamite, look, he's in as favourite, probably on the back of just being Irish, and Mouse Mars doesn't really send horses over here. Well, he probably doesn't have the caliber of horses to do so. He won well over hurdles last time. His chase form is nothing that he's writing home about. He's run here off a mark of 148. Yeah, look, he's a big enough horse. He'll go from the front. You get your run. I don't think he should be favourite. Galaw's a horse who I really, really took to back in 2020. He was a horse that got GSI'd into a lot back then. Most of them runs were from the front making all, but they changed. Well, obviously they changed tactics for his comeback run. I think if he gets into a very good rhythm around Cheltenham and he gains length at his fence, he could be very, very hard to catch. Again, what Tom mentioned, the bounce factor would be the only thing that we worry about. But he's still only a 6-year-old. Let's not forget that. And he has a lot of experience over fences for the age that he is. I think he's 11 to 2, 6 to 1 now. I can see him going off favourite. Stolen Silver is one that could play a big part. Again, Tom mentioned earlier on Sam Thomas horses are running really well lately, but he could play a big role as well. Yeah, but I think Galaw would be the main one. Editor Gee each way, and I don't know, something will pop out then. The Machine, that's the other one. So the Machine, he's one that's kind of going in under the radar. Kerry is good at getting a horse ready for big races. He might run a big race at 12 to 1, but main one, Big Galaw, and each way, the Machine and Editor the Gee.
Yeah, it looks like a decent race, but I'd be worried about the front runners because there's a lot of pace in it. Sean already touched on Cool Cody, Editor the Gee, who I was strong on, like Andrew and Tom as well. Happy the last day to see that he can race. in mid-pack because French Dynamite's going to go probably in front. Gallo wants to be up there. Cool Cody wants to be up there. So it could be a lot of pace in this. And a horse might trap along in behind and catch them up the hill. But Editor to the Jeet each way for me. And I am positive, and I know Tom has said it a few times as well, Galahad Quest is going to pick up one decent handicap in his career chasing. He was 5th in this race last year when we were over watching it. Some good horses ahead of Midnight Shadow and Protectorat, who are probably better than handicappers. He's carrying 10 stone 3. Jane Williams hadn't had a winner in months since Chester Williams got injured. They've had a third all time, but she had a winner today at Bangor, a juvenile hurdler. So that's good for the stable. And I just think he'll run well again, like he always does. Whether he's good enough to win remains to be seen. What's wrong with Andrew's mic?
My bad. I had it on mute. 2 kids are killing each other.
Oh, okay.
What was I saying? Do you not think he just hates winning?
Like he struggles to win, but like I don't think he's going to get any better chance with the mark he's on. He runs around Cheltenham well. He tends to make a mistake here or there, but if he can iron that out, I think he has a chance, and the stable could do with a big winner, to be honest.
I'm surprised no one put up Nassalam. Somebody usually puts up Nassalam.
Useless. Okay, and Sunday.
Okay.
The 145 at Cheltenham is the Schlur Chase. Nube Negra, very, very sorry. Edwardstone is favourite, 4-5. Nube Negra, 6-4. Soft horse. He's a soft boy, that fella. Editor the Jeet, 7-1, entered here as well. Sizing Potsy, 16-1. Numitor, 20-1. Daily Tiger, 66-1. And Gana Patoi is entered here as well, 66-1. I'll take this first. I imagine Editor the Jeet will run in the Paddy Power. Nube Negra is just... He's as soft as bread that's not toasted. And if Edwardstone can't beat him, he's no business turning up in a champion chase later in the year. So Edwardstone for me. Sean.
Right, Dave. Well, we're going to have a good argument here because this will be my second GSO of the weekend, Nube Negra.
Stop.
I think people back this horse at the wrong time of the season. The time to catch this guy is first time out. I can't have the prices the way they are. They have Edwardstone at 4-6 and Nube Negra at 6-4. Edwardstone's the one who has everything to prove. He's coming out of his company for the first time. And on ratings, Nube Negra, he does have to give him £3. He's still £1 better. And I just don't see how they priced it up this way. His record over, as I said, over fences first time out was 3 from 3. And I think I really do. He's my second GSO of the weekend. I'm all over this guy.
Tom.
I agree with Sean there, actually. Nube Negra won this race last year, beat Politolog, put the kettle on Rouge Vif, and he was second the year before behind Put the Kettle On. And he was a length clear of Chac and Passois with Grenadine and So Royal behind him. He's 4 out of 5 on his seasonal reappearances, and I think people underestimate him a little bit. He's won 6 out of his 26 races. And look, Edwardstone does provide some competition, but this is his first run out of novice company. How good were last season's novices he was beaten? I don't know. He beat Gabinaco 4 lengths in an arco. I think Nube Negra would lap Gabinaco. So I think the price is the wrong way around. I think 6-4 about Nube Negra is a fairly decent bet, to be honest.
Andrew.
Edwardstone, I think, won the worst article in living memory. I think even given, look, this is not a race that I'd get GSI'd in, but I can understand why they're going Nube Negra. His form is the best in the race by a country mile, in my opinion. It's first time up. I can't be getting stuck into anybody in this whatsoever. As they alluded to Nube Negra, he won this by 6 lengths last year. He was half length behind, put the kettle on. He beat Altior back in the day, back in 2020. I keep saying 2000. The reason I don't really like this horse, and this is why I get to it, I really liked him for, I think it was the Fred Winter one year, and I got well stuck into him that year, and I've never forgiven him since. And he's actually turned out to be an alright chaser, decent enough chaser. But I think he's the most likeliest winner. I think one or two of the big, if Editor the Geeta doesn't turn up here, I can see Nube Negra or Edwardstone, probably Edwardstone underperforming. And I think Size of Patsy 16-1. If they all turn up there, you get 2 places. I back him to follow him home. To get the more rain that's coming, he'll love the ground. He won first time up for the pipes. Look, it's 2-7 on, but it is what it is. 61 to follow him home. I couldn't go anywhere near the top 2, but if, as last said, I agree with the lads, and the most likely winner will be Nube Negra.
Okay. And last one at Cheltenham for the weekend that we're going to touch on is the 255. It's the big race on Sunday, 2 miles, half a furlong, the Greatwood Hurdle handicap. It's always a decent race. Emmett Mullins has the favourite, 1,000 Tears, 4-1. Dad's Lad, 11-2. Son Igino, 13-2. I like to move it.
Move it.
There you go. 8-1. Nina the Terrier, 12-1. Gin Coco, 12-1. West Cork, 14-1. The Lunatic, that is Teddy Blue, 14-1. And 16-1 Bar. Tom, give us one winner. Not 6.
Oh, yeah, that's easy. I don't think this is the best race in the world. I'm not a massive fan of it. Gin Coco is interesting. I would go for something unexposed here. He is definitely that. Ran a really nice race at Punchestown, carrying top weight, and he's very inexperienced there as well. And he finished second, so thought that was a good run. He's had a little run around at Newton Abbot in October, and he's won. I think his mark of 131 is definitely workable. He's also in the Supreme Novice Trial on the same card, so that's question mark. And as unoriginal, the one I take on anyway is Dad's Lad. I think he's a much better chaser than he is hurdler. There's a reason there why his hurdles mark is a lot lower than his chase mark. I think he's a lot better over fences. So I'd take him on. 1,000 Tears is the one. We've all seen how Emmett Mullins can improve horses from other trainers. He does a fantastic job at it. Sorry, I had to choke. This lad had relatively decent handicap form in Ireland as well, running off marks in the high teens. And if you look at, he's coming over here, he's getting £10 for doing so. He could be absolutely chucked it. Would I go back at 4-1? No. And that makes it for me probably a non-bet race. It's very tricky. I don't think, we in the past we've seen horses like Adagio won this and everyone said, Jesus, champion hurdle performance. Size in Europe won this in the past. I don't think there's any horse of that caliber in here at all. So probably a little bit of a disappointing feel for the Greatwood this year.
Andrew?
Like Tom said, it's not a race there. It's slapping out. There's one sticking out like a sore thumb. I think 1,000 Tears is there on sufferance because of who trains him. If you train by anyone else, he wouldn't be favourite at all. Dad's Lad, good form. Chase win last time around Cheltenham. Sonny Gino, very impressive last 2 runs for Paul Nichols. Whether this is the plan or not, we don't know. But if he continues to go the way he's going to play a big part in it. I like to move it is one that I actually really like in this. Is former now in Cheltenham. He's had 2 wins last season. He beat Washington and Tritonic, and then he finished 19 lengths behind Stateman in the County Hurdle. And he was beating Shorthead in the Betfred Hurdle at Newby before that. He's a horse that has a lot of experience and feels like this. A very tough horse. He's still only 5 rows, so he could be still improving. He probably the main bet in there at 8-1. Another one just not on the outside, but near the top is Gin Coco, 12-1 for Harry Fry. Very lightly raced horse, has shown a decent level of form, and it's a horse that, again, with the lightly raced nature of him, he could be one that has a bolt of improvement again. So okay, it's a massive, wide open race. A lot of them in there with chances, but I think I like to move it. And Sonagino, I think, would be the standout once for me with Gin Coco as the backup.
And Sean?
Yeah, Dave, I think at the top of the market, like the 1,000 tiers, unless someone knows something that we don't know, he's fair short. You couldn't be backing him at that price. I love Emma Mullins now, but he'd need to improve him a good bit to be winning the Greatwood. And the horse here, I'm not too sure he's going to go now, to be quite honest. But West Cork, he's 10-1. I can't be having him at that price in this sort of race. It's way weaker. Now, he did come out this season and he started over fences. He went novice chasing and he's behind stage star. But he's still in the race, and I'm just wondering, are they thinking about dropping him back down because it's such a weak race? Compared to last year, like, he beat Adagio. Like, you look at some of the horses in that field, Campron, Tritonic, Glory and Fortune, Maria's Rock, Botox has, like, it's nowhere near the level. He is 14 pounds higher and he has top weight. But I just think at 10-1, if he runs in this race, he has a great squeak of being in the places.
Two I like, and I agree with the lads. I don't think it's the strongest renewal of the Greatwood. I don't think there's any champion hurdle aspirations for any of these going forward. Alan King's horse, Harbour Lake, each way if he runs. Ran 5 times, brought down once, won all the rest. Over 2 mile 4, so he'll stay. And I liked how he won the last day of Market Raising. And same horse as Andrew, I like to move it because he has experience in this type of race, usually plays to the strengths. Should still be improving this year, so I give him a chance as well. But they're not the most inspired choices.
We will be on Sunday when they win, Dave.
Before we do our naps and next bests, just touch on the Lismullen on Sunday with Bob Ollinger entered and Florin Porter over 2 mile 4 and host of other horses. Who do we think is going to win, Florin Porter or Bob Ollinger? Tom, you can go first.
Bob.
Yes, Tom.
Andrew.
Ooh. Super question.
Sean.
Well, I definitely wouldn't be back on Bob now. I don't think Florin Porter is going to be a prize, but it'd be a watch for me now. But I'd be just hoping Florin Porter looks all over the winner, goes down to the last, gets a little bit tired and gets beaten, and we get a little drift for the stairs. But I couldn't be touching Bob. And no matter how much Henry says he's improved at home, I couldn't be touching him until I see him in person. Last season, he was a broken horse.
And I said it last season, after I think it was the second chase, they need to keep him as far away from fences as they can. He couldn't jump. Look, he was unbeaten over fences going to Punchtown, but he was handed the race at Cheltenham, the Turners. He was handed the Turners by Galvin. He beat Capadano at Punchtown, which wasn't actually decent performance, but again, his jumping was all over the place. He was hewing, he was landing on all fours, back over hurdles. Henry's horses are flying. He's having a lot of winners over the last 2 weeks. I think he's going to be as ready as Envoy was on the weekend, because they need to know now what way their season is going. Whether he's going to be a horse that's going to be a stayers contender, if he's even going to be a Cheltenham horse. Look, everyone's going to say, oh, you're talking about Cheltenham already, but the whole season's geared around Cheltenham. Then you work backwards from Cheltenham. So he's going to be massively ready. Florin Porter, I think his aim is going to be Cheltenham, so he's not going to be fully cooked. I think Bob is the one that's going to be really ready to go. And if he shows his old spark that he did over hurdles, which I hope he will, because he's going to find jumping hurdles a lot easier than jumping fences. And if he shows his old spark, getting, what is this, 9 pounds off Florin Porter, I think he takes something if he shows his own level of form. And that's it's a big if. There's no doubt about it. There's a big if, because he looked like he was half dead coming to the line at Cheltenham, and then it was just a bad decision. Henry admits it, running him a punches down. That could have left his mark. As we said, horses remember going through the pain barrier, and good Jesus, he go through a pain barrier at Cheltenham. So it's a big if. Won't be betting whatever price he is. If he's 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, he's not going to be anywhere near the price. But I wouldn't go near him. I just hope he comes and shows the spark that he still has. He still wants to race, and if he goes on win, happy days. We can start getting excited about him again.
And looking forward, Andrew, you think like towards this festival, I can't see him going to stairs, Drew. Can you? I think if he is going to spark back, I think it's going to be the champion hurdle. They've got to be aiming him. Like if you look at his Ballymore, now he was beating Guy out doing Neil and Brave Man's game, but he looked bags of speed.
He looked a very pacey horse over hurdles, but I don't think it's beyond the realms of impossibility that he can stay as well. He never looked like when he won the Ballymore, he wasn't slowing down. When he won the Turners, he looked like he was ready to keel over. But there was obviously must have been something wrong with it, as we all alluded to last year. There must have been something up with Henry's horses last year because it affected a hell of a lot of the horses. And this year they seem to be all A1. There's a lot of them winning. There's a very good performance coming out. But again, it's the big if. Is it the old Bob we're going to see? Is it the Bob Alger, the chasing Bob Alger? How much of a mark has Cheltenham left on him? It's a lot of ifs, but it'll be good to see him back. We love a comeback story like Envoy last week. But again, all if, ands, and buts.
Yeah, look, I think it would be the opportunity for Bob to beat Florian Porter if he's at his best on Sunday. Wouldn't worry me in the slightest if Florian Porter got bet. He'll be geared towards winning a third stairs hurdle, and I agree with Sean. I think Bob is very speedy horse, and numerous horses have tried. Oscar Whiskey was one that was a really good horse, but couldn't stay 3 miles over hurdles, loads of speed, and Florian Porter will win again in March.
Tune into the video tonight. Tell you why he mightn't.
Naps and next best. Tom, you're first.
Oh, where's the GSIs?
Tom's on mute.
Tom's mute. Give it out to me, he's mute.
Tom, you're still on mute. Andrew, you can go first.
There he's back.
I was watching a race because I might as well just jump straight into that. So my nap anyway is unanswered prayers. Massively keen on him on Friday. Monmoral then maybe is next best, but it could be a bit short. One way you might get a bit of value is the Mayor's Bumper on Friday. Now,
Fergal O'Brien's horse, GSI, boom.
No.
Nicky Henderson, Tom.
As we were saying, Alice ran at Cheltenham last April, and we were very, very kindly invited up to the Royal Box for some champagne. We were definitely the last to leave the racecourse. Never mind the Royal Box, the racecourse, right? So we got to have a look at the last race and also meet the connections who were very, very excited of the winner, which is a horse called Queen's Gamble, trained by Oliver Sherwood. Now go back and watch this race. Dave, Mullenbeg, you like that mare. She battered her by 10 lengths first time out. Absolutely destroyed them. It wasn't a bad field of mares at all. She's got that Cheltenham form, and I just think she'll go into that a little bit underrated because she's trained by Oliver Sherwood. But that mare has a massive engine. She's a very, very good horse.
You might get a price as well, Tom. Apparently the Nicky Henderson Lucia, he's looking at throwing her in there. So
yeah, he's on about throwing her in as well. I heard him saying as well today that I think the form didn't work out too well, he was saying, but look, Queen's Gamble just took my eye that day, and she's in my tracker, and I'll follow her for a while, I think.
Sean?
Nap for me, Dave, will be Friday at 1:45 will be the Glancing Queen, and the next best will be Nuba Negra.
My nap is the Glancing Queen, and my next best is Unanswered Prayers. And Andrew?
Nap, Ballyandy. Next best. Oh, God, where's it gone? Next best is Banbridge. Sorry. Next best, Banbridge.
Okay, that's the Cheltenham Paddy Power meeting. Anybody watches the videos, wants to come and say hi to myself and Andrew, and Puddy will be there as well. Please do. Please like and subscribe. And as ever, leave your comments, naps, and next bests and abuse, usually, in the comments below. And thank you for watching.